chance to get Coach Rick Martin. Any questions?
What went right, what went wrong, and how about Dalton?
Well, one, it was an incredible, hard-fought college basketball game. We thought we had really wore into them in the first half, playing with the speed that we played with, but got to give them a lot of credit. They closed out the first half on I think a 9-0 run, and they came out and went right at us, and 16 points. That was a 15-0 run, and we obviously had some foul trouble situation and that we're dealing with, but you got to give them credit for putting us in that situation, and great atmosphere. Both teams, I thought, played extremely hard, but obviously very proud of the fact in the last 6 minutes, I think we were down 10 maybe, and we just felt if we could get it to 4 with about 4, and could have got it there quicker, but we missed some free throws from the 6 minute to the 4 minute mark. But defensively, in the last 4 minutes, what can you say about Jonas's 15 rebounds, 5 blocks? I thought Santi and Jamai and Z, those guys defensively, and I thought Dalton was really trying to lock in there defensively, and we just said to him in the timeout, hey, we won't settle in, play aggressive defense, not put them on the line. We did that too much in the first half. They had, I think, 11 points and then 16 or so off the free throw line. And so we got to guard without fouling. We switched a little bit with our ball screen coverage, letting Jonas switch out and guard to guard, and he did a great job with that. But just really proud of the way our guys executed really on the defensive end. And obviously at the end of the game, we were going to play through Zakai or Dalton. And Dalton, you guys that have seen him knows that when he has that look in his eye, he can go do this, and he did it, but it was the defense that really got us back into the game.
How much better is Dalton at this point in the season, playing off of when guys are in the gaps now? How much better is he to adjusting to that?
Well, he's getting better with it, but I think he owes it all to Jamai Mashak, guarding him every day in practice and going at it, and these other guys knowing how he's being played. But some of it too is I still think, even though we've had some guys that maybe have struggled a little bit shooting it, I think there's still a lot of respect for the people that he's surrounded by.
What was the difference defensively in the first 15 minutes of the second half and in those final 5 minutes?
Stop fouling, and we were in a black coverage because we have so much respect for their guards getting downhill. And then, a couple times it looked like the middle was wide open, and but we were okay with them throwing it if we could get there and get behind the ball. But then we were over tagging and letting them kick out, and their guards do a good job finding, and they can shoot the ball. I mean, they're I told the team before the game, the last thing I said to them, I want you to know these guys are a really, really good offensive team. We're going to have to guard them without fouling. We didn't do that in the first half, but coming down the end, I thought we did a much better job of finding the shooters, getting there, and trying to work to stay in front of the ball, out front, out top, and then trying to obviously finish it with rebounding the ball. And again, a lot of credit to Georgia. Mike White he's an unbelievable coach. He's done an incredible job everywhere he's been, and I knew they were going to fight us every step of the way. And when they got down, they didn't flinch. We got them down. They didn't flinch. They came right back and really came out the second half and went right at us. And thankfully, the last 4 minutes, we were able to come out here with a win.
What's it about Dalton in these road environments?
I have no idea. I don't. When guys are good basketball players, good offensive guys, but I've always believed that guys that have success like this, it goes back to their training, their work ethic, their passion, love for the game. And again, Dalton's one of those guys you want to see him come back to the Food City Center or Pratt every night. He's going to be in there after practice. He's one of those guys that puts his time in, and when he gets going, he's a confident player. He's working really, really hard to try to become a better defensive player.
Have you had a player excel like this on the road, or is it at a different level?
Well, I did have Kevin Durant, so I saw it a bunch.
That was exactly what I was going to ask.
Saw it a bunch.
How do you compare those two? Like, what is it about them?
Mindset, and again, that's a good. It's a mindset where short memory, not afraid of the moment, willing to go make the big play, and they don't. They've got a great ability to bounce back.
What was the difference for Jonas tonight compared to Wednesday night? How encouraging was it to see him respond the way he did?
Well, again, defensively, we tell, his length and what he does around the rim. He's quick. He's got a good quick jump, second jump when he wants to. But again, I keep telling Jonas, I think he's going to develop into one of the best post guys in the country. And I will say this: he needs to touch the ball more. early, and he and Tobey, I think, had missed maybe one shot in the first half, but we still need to work at finding those guys in those games. Like at the end of the half, I don't think we scored the last 4 minutes, and but it was. I think in this league, I think you can expect this pretty much every night, and just really proud of the way the guys finished the game.
How concerned are you with the week that Josiah has had, and what went wrong for him today?
Just, guys go through it. I mean, as you know, really from start to finish, he still would be considered our most consistent player. You go through this, and the exciting thing about it is once we can put it all together, and that's what January is about. And Josiah will be fine. But the fact is, we've got guys on our team that we can get into our bench, and there's a lot of teams in our league would love to have some of our guys off our bench. And then you got Shaq comes in, and Santi comes back in, and I think Santi tonight was plus 20 when he was out there, and he just impacts the game in a lot of different ways. And Joe did too. I mean, he did some things. He just struggled on the offensive end, and that I don't. Again, as long as he'll take good shots, I thought for the most part, his shots were good. Then I thought he started pressing, trying to drive the ball, getting himself in some trouble that he shouldn't get himself in. But again, Shaq went in and finished it out and did a great job.
How does your offense change when Dalton's bringing the ball up?
Well, again, you watched this as you had all year. We had a lot of guys bring it up. Just there at the end, we knew we knew what we were doing. We knew how we wanted to play it, and trying to give him as much space. And he's a tough guy to guard, because if you pick him up at half court, you're really opening up the court and gives him room to go make plays. If you go lower, pick him up, and if you go under, he did it tonight. He raised up and shot it. I mean, so he's a difficult guy to guard, and he's not afraid to try to get downhill, and he's going to get better. Dalton's going to get better even offensively. He's got to keep understanding his spots on the floor, how far he can get down there. He's going to have to. We keep telling him he's got to continue to get better playing off 2 feet, but he's obviously somebody that you'd rather reel him in as opposed to begging him to go get it done. And he's a guy that, like he shot the air ball in the first half, but that one bothered me because we talked about it yesterday, and that play was set up for him to drive the ball, and he didn't. And next thing he needs to learn to do is call timeout. He doesn't understand. I can't call timeout. And I'm screaming at him, call timeout. I'm sure he was thinking it might be a new play we put in or something, but he didn't call it. But still, just a really great all-around win.
You said that when Dalton
Last one.
gets that look in his eye, what is that look in his eye? How do you define that?
Where you can just tell he's got a little bounce about it. And again, we've seen it. We saw it the very first scrimmage of the year against Michigan State, where he likes the moment. He does, and one thing I think is happening for him too. I think he's getting himself in shape he's never been in his life, because in the past he didn't guard anybody the way he played defense. I could play it today, but now he's starting to figure it out, and understanding how hard it is to be good at this game, and how hard you got to work on both ends. And his teammates were really, again, encouraging him, because the very first play of the second half was on him. He came out, he wasn't alert, gave up a wide open three to obviously a good shooter. But his teammates probably coach him better than I do, because he looks at my face, he knows I'm about to rip his head off, But those guys, I give his teammates a lot, because they're really coaching him up and trying to help him, and they listen to him.
One
They listen to them.
One more from Wes, it's the last one.
The first half, really interesting from Zakai, the normal production, the assist, but also 6 turnovers. Was that just loose with the ball? Communication
Yeah, he was
issues?
too loose with the ball. He was, and he's continuing to play, and they hit him with what we would call somewhat of a black defensive pressure on the ball, where they're out there hedging really hard, and but he got down there deep too many times and tried to make too many tough passes, and but second half he didn't turn it over. He took care of the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
Right.